Unit 3, Grammar, Comparisons. Comparisons is a topic that we covered in previous years. However, in this video, we will learn more forms of comparisons, so please continue watching. We will start with what you already know. You may be familiar with this as I used it in previous years. We will start with this, cover this quickly, and then move on to the new things. We will compare between these students using adjectives, and we have divided adjectives into short adjectives and long adjectives. If you are not sure what a short adjective is, it is an adjective that contains one syllable. Long means 2, 3, 4, more than one. To find out the number of syllables in an adjective, you can simply place your hand under your chin like this, and then try to say tall. How many times did your chin touch your hand? Only one time. Tall. Try to say intelligent. That's 4 times. Intelligent. 4 times. Cold, smart, big, cheap. 1 syllable. These adjectives are short. And also remember that all adjectives ending in Y are short adjectives, even if they contain more than 1 syllable, even if you open your mouth more than once to say them. Now look. Richard and Mike. We will start by comparing only 2. Richard and Mike. Richard is taller than Mike. Mike is shorter than Richard. We add ER to the short adjective and then than when we compare between 2. With long adjectives, we add more before the adjective. We keep the adjective as it is. We don't say intelligenter. No, we say more intelligent than, less intelligent than. Less is the opposite of more. Richard grade is C. Mike grade is B. So Richard isn't very smart. He is less intelligent than Mike. In here, we are comparing between only 2, Richard and Mike. When we compare between more than 2, compare between all the 4. Richard is the tallest, 195 centimeters tall. He is the tallest. Add the before the adjective, the short adjective, and add est to the adjective. If the adjective is long, we don't say more, we say the most, and the opposite of the most is the least. Richard is the least intelligent. Nobody is C except him. Everybody is higher. Comparing between +2, more than 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we move on to equality. Equality means they are the same. Robert is as tall as George. Both of them are 170 centimeters tall. As tall as means the same. Very easy. Use the adjective, short or long, doesn't matter. You can say as beautiful as intelligent as expensive as, doesn't matter. Long or short, okay? Or you can say Robert is not as tall as Richard, which means he is shorter. Robert is shorter than Richard. Or you can say Robert is not as tall as. Remember, adjective, as before and after. Is as tall as or is not as tall as. Now, this is what we learned in previous years, plus few exceptions. Now, this is a new thing. The adjectives clever, simple, narrow, and common. Narrow is the opposite of wide. They can be dealt with as short adjectives or long. Deal with them the way you like. You can say Mike is cleverer than Richard, or you can say Mike is more clever. Clever means smart. Simple, you can say simpler. English is simpler, or you can say more simple. Both are correct. Narrow, narrower. Common, commoner, or more common. So long or short, both are correct. Okay, only 4 adjectives. Okay, this is a new thing. Now, irregular adjectives. Good is a short adjective, right? Good. Good, you open your mouth only once, but you don't say gooder. You say better. And you say the best when comparing between more than 2. Bad, worse than. Richard is worse than Mike. Mike is worse than Robert. Robert is the best. Richard is the worst. Far, which means not near. You can say farther or further than. The farthest or the furthest. Much and many. Much is used with uncountable nouns. Many is used with countable nouns. Let me give you an example. Let's use book to compare between these students. Book is not an adjective, right? So you can't say Robert is booker than Richard. That is incorrect. So what do you say? Book is a countable noun. You say more books than. Robert has more books than Richard. Mike has less books than Robert. George has the most books. Little, less than, or the least. Mike has less books. Richard has the least books. Okay? Use much, little, many with nouns like book, water, eggs. Now, spelling. All adjectives ending in Y are considered or dealt with as short adjectives. You add ER to them or EST if you are comparing between more than 2. But what you do is that you change the Y into I. Adjectives ending in E, you don't add ER to them. You just add R or ST. That is enough. Adjectives contain one vowel between 2 consonants. Vowels are A, E, I, O, U. If you see one of these vowels between 2 consonants, not vowels, you need to double the last consonant. You double the G, like hot, H-O-T. O is a vowel. When you write hotter, you double the T, 2 T's, okay? The biggest. Now, let's move on to new forms of comparisons. This is the new thing. Grading comparisons. What do we mean by this? Look, Robert is smarter than Richard. Yes, grade A, grade C. Robert is smarter. What we can do is grade our comparisons. How? We say that Robert is much smarter than Richard. You can use much, far, rather, or a lot. You can say Robert is a lot smarter than Richard. His grade is A. Richard is only C. So Robert is far smarter than Richard. You can say Robert is more intelligent than Mike. He is more intelligent, but he is not much more intelligent. He is, a little more intelligent, or a bit, or slightly. All of them give the same meaning. Use far, much, rather, or a lot if the difference between the two is huge. Huge difference. Grade A, grade C. Use a little, a bit, or slightly if the difference between the two isn't very big. Grade A and grade B, so he is a little more intelligent or he is slightly more intelligent. All of them give the same meaning. Easy? Okay. Use the comparative and then the and comparative. The harder you study, the higher your grade will get. What does that mean? It means getting high grades is a result of studying hard. Let me repeat. This right here, higher grades, this is the result of this. Let me give you another example. The more time you spend at work, the more money you will make. More money is the result of more time at work. The more time you spend. In here, we use the noun, time. This is why we used more. In here, I used short adjectives, harder, higher, more time, more money. Money and time are nouns. Another example. The larger the city is, what will happen? The more crowded, more people will be in that city. It gets. The larger the city is, the bigger the city is, the more crowded, more traffic it gets. This time I used a short adjective, large, and long adjective. Is this easy for you? Okay, one more comparison form. Comparative and comparative. This one's easy. Smartphones are getting smarter and smarter. Robert is getting smarter and smarter. Richard is getting taller and taller. It means every day or every year, Richard is getting taller. His height is increasing. Robert is getting smarter. His brain is getting better. Smartphones every year become simpler or smarter or better. Continually evolving, increasing. Okay? Now this is the new thing. Now we are ready for practice. Complete the second sentence so that it has a similar meaning to the first one. Using the word given, use this, not. The first sentence, the exam was less difficult, not very difficult, than I expected, than I thought. Use not. This is equality. Not as difficult as. Simple. My headache. Headache is a pain in your head. Kept, continued, getting worse and worse. So I took an aspirin. Aspirin is a painkiller, just like Panadol. Use and. Worse and worse. My headache was getting worse and worse. You can say going, worse and worse. You can say becoming, worse and worse. All of them give the same meaning. Yesterday, it was a little cooler than it is today. Use slightly, or a bit, or a little. Today, it is warmer, not cooler, because yesterday was cooler. Today, it is warmer, or a little warmer, or a bit warmer, or slightly warmer than it was yesterday. I have never had a better meal in my life. This is the best meal I've ever had. As Kevin ate more popcorn, he got thirstier. Thirstier means he needed water. This is the result of this. You eat popcorn more, you get thirstier. So the more popcorn Kevin ate, the thirstier he got. Okay, again. The more popcorn Kevin ate, the thirstier he got. 6. I couldn't do any better. Use best. This is the best I could do. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, please share it with friends. I'll see you again next time, inshallah. Goodbye.